The following program is made possible by a grant from Pan American Life Insurance Company. It's Varsity Quiz Bowl. And today, Connie Conklin, Dennis Thibodeau, Charles Picou, and Jack Clarette from Terrebonne High School will meet in a battle of quick recall. James Jones, John Albright, Charlene Wall, and Robert Dawson from Warren Easton Fundamental Senior High School. The alternate from Terrebonne is Brian Pellegrin, and the coach, Ken Royston. And the alternate from Warren Eastern is Bonnie Moret, and the coach, Glenn Grenier. And now, here's our moderator, Mel Levitt.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, and welcome once again to Varsity Quiz Bowl. This is a third-round game as we move toward the quarterfinals between Warren Easton and Terrebonne High School. Before we get going, let me introduce our judge for today, Ann Akers. Our scorer is Betty Baggert, a WYES producer. Our recognizer for today's match is Cliff Beal, an intern here at WYES and a student at Loyola. And with that in mind, let's give him a nice round of applause, huh? Okay. If you're ready, teams, if you're all ready, and I'm sure you are, we're going to start with this face-off leading up to an audio lanyap, and it's a quickie. She is slated to become the next Queen of England. For 10 points, can you name her?
Easton Albright.
Lady Diana Spencer.
That's right, for 10 points. And Easton's on the board right away with a chance to pick up now 30 points more. This is an audio musical lanyap. So I want you, before I ask the three questions that I will in a moment, to listen to the music we're going to play. Listen, here it goes. All right, you got just a sample of his inimitable jazz styling on a piano, but he was in all kinds of fields. This is a clue-type question. Now, if you can get this on one clue, it's 30 points. If it takes two, it's 20. If it takes three, of course, it's 10. The first clue is simply this. Nope. Well, that's the music. That's very simple, isn't it? That's all I'm going to give you in the first clue. Thank goodness the judge is here to make sure I get off on the right track. Did that music give you enough of a clue to tell me who it might be?
Scott Joplin.
No. We'll give you a second clue now for 20 points. He was born in Washington, D.C., and he got youthful experience as both a player and a band leader there. He became a jazz composer, and he used the American Dance Band as a vehicle for some very personal artistic expression. Who does that sound like? Have no idea. All right, here's for 10 points. Outstanding among his early associates were trumpeter Charles Bubba Miley and trumpeter Charles Cootie Williams. He undertook every kind of music, from concert works like Creole Rhapsody and Black, Brown, and Beige to popular songs like Sophisticated Lady and Don't Get Around Much Anymore. Who was he? For 10 points?
Stan Kenton.
No, this was Duke Ellington. Duke Ellington. All right, we have another face-off. We're going for a lanyap of 30 points. In modern times, the burning of fossil fuels has filled the Earth's atmosphere with carbon dioxide, resulting in an acceleration of the natural warming of our planet. For 10 points, what are the...
Greenhouse effect?
That's what they call it. Scientists call it the greenhouse effect. Terrebonne is now on the board. Score tied at 10. Here's a lanyap of 30. Again, it's a mystery-type clue question. If you can name the first person, the famous person, after one clue, you can earn 30 points. After two clues, 20, and after three clues, it's 10. Number one. One sentence. He was chief of the German General Staff from 1891 to 1906. I know that doesn't sound like too much, but...
Bismarck?
No. Let's try a second clue now for 20 points. He developed a plan to defeat France, attacking through Belgium and Holland. We're getting deep into military strategy, but this was a famous man. All right, we'll take a third clue now for 10 points if you can name him. This plan, named after him, successfully was used in World War II. The strike through Germany, or rather Belgium and Holland. Anyone? It was Count Alfred von Schlieffen. The von Schlieffen plan. All right, another face-off. We're going now for a lanyap at 25 for 10 points. Name the bloodless coup against King James II of England, which ended when William of Orange and his English wife, Mary, assumed the throne.
Terrebonne, Pico.
Restoration.
No, I'm afraid that's incorrect. War in Easton. Anyone want to take a shot at it?
Easton Wall.
The Reformation?
No, this was called the Glorious Revolution. Another face-off for 10 points. With what island nation do you associate the musical form reggae?
Easton Albright.
Jamaica.
No, I'm afraid not. We hadn't completed it, so we'll repeat in its entirety for Terrebonne. For 10 points, with what island nation do you associate the musical form reggae, Toussaint Louverture, and Papa Doc Duvalier? Papa Doc.
Terrebonne, Pico.
Haiti.
Haiti's correct for 10 points. All right, Terrebonne, you have a 25-point lanyap, and this is just a little bit different. If Gargantua, the legendary giant of Rabelais, were to sign a Major League Baseball contract, he would, of course, sign with the Giants. Using your imagination and your memory for 5 points each, tell me what baseball teams the following people probably would play for. Number 1, Jean Lafitte.
The Pirates?
That's right. Number 2, Vladimir Ulyanov. He had another name, of course. Play with the Reds. He was Lenin. Father Junipero Serra.
Padres?
That's right. He played with the Padres. Chang and Eng. Bunker.
Twins?
Right. And Hester Prynne.
A's?
The A's, of course, the Scarlet Letter. You got it. 4 of the 5, 20 points. That was offbeat. Here's another face-off. We're going for a lanyap of 30. It's a musical term usually applied to the liveliest and happiest movement of a sonata, a symphony, or a string quartet. The word is Italian. It means jest or joke. For 10 points, what is it? Jest or joke. You hear it in reference to symphonies, and the others mentioned scherzo is the term, scherzo. Another face-off. Turkish women were given the right to vote just 10 years after women in the United States were given this right. For 10 points, in what year were American women actually allowed?
1920?
That's right, 1920. You now have a lanyap of 30 points in 3 parts. Some public figures have a knack for quotable remarks. Others are associated with a phrase for other reasons. For 10 points apiece, name the famous Americans who are known for the following. First, we must all hang together, or assuredly, we shall all hang separately.
Benjamin Franklin?
That's correct. The world must be made safe for democracy.
Wilson?
Correct. And finally, liberty and union now and forever, one and inseparable. Was Daniel Webster, great orator. 2 of the 3 you have, and that's 20 more points for Terrebonne High. Next face-off is leading toward a lanyap of 20 points. This systematic program calls for the investment of equal dollar amounts at fixed intervals in 1 or more stocks with favorable long-range prospects. For 10 points, what do we call this method of doing away with the problem of attempting to time market fluctuations? It's a special term used by stockbrokers and by investors. It is known as dollar cost averaging. Another face-off. The first telephone message was, Mr. Watson, come here, I need you. Spoken by Alexander Graham.
Terrebonne, Pico.
Alexander.
Oh, that's right. He jumped in thinking I wanted the answer as far as the name was concerned. Alexander Graham Bell. We'll repeat now for Warren Easton. The first telephone message was, Mr. Watson, come here, I need you. It was spoken by Alexander Graham Bell in 1876. For 10 points, what was the first recorded message made by Thomas Edison in 1877? Must ring for consultation. Mr. Dawson didn't realize it, but this is still a face-off, and we can't have consultation, so we'll throw it out. The first recorded message made by Edison was, Mary Had a Little Lamb. Another face-off. We're going for lanyap at 20. At WVUE, Channel 8 in New Orleans, Buddy Delaberto, then the sports director,
Easton
announced he
Albright.
would be...
Ron Swoboda.
And was replaced by Ron Swoboda. You're correct. Former Yankee, former Giant, 10 points. We even have a chance to outline that one for you. Here's a 20-point lanyap. A handicap such as blindness has not necessarily meant the end of a talented person's career, and many have become well-known musicians. For 5 points each, identify the following blind performers. First, a guitarist. He's been featured on several Channel 12 specials.
Jose Feliciano.
That's right, for 5 points. For 5 more. a pianist and vocalist. His album Songs in the Key of Life was one of the top 5.
Stevie Wonder.
That's right. Number 3, this very talented black pianist recorded the top single, I Can't Stop Loving You, in 1962.
Ray Charles.
Correct. And finally, this 20th century pianist who flows effortlessly from classics to jazz and back was featured on a memorable Mel Torme Christmas show this past Christmas, Channel 12. A remarkable pianist, been performing for many, many years. George Shearing is his name. Extremely inventive, and you picked up 3 of the 4. That's 15 points for Warren Easton. That narrows the gap quite a bit as the buzzer sounds and leads us into rapid fire. In rapid fire, of course, as you know, we ask the questions as quickly as they're answered. If you answer correctly, it's 10 points. Incorrect answers are -5. And we proceed. There are no second answers, remember, no referrals as we have in face-offs. And we continue for the duration of the 2 minutes of the countdown. Now, in rapid fire today, we've based it on general knowledge of people, places, and things, all of which begin with the letter B, as in boy, oh boy. Okay. Let's begin, gang. Number 1, the city in which Johns Hopkins University is located.
Easton, Albright.
Boston.
No, it's Baltimore. Baltimore. Nickname of the United States outlaw William H. Bonney.
Terrebonne, Thibodeau.
Billy the Kid.
Correct. In chemical activity, the opposite of an acid.
Terrebonne,
Yes.
Thibodeau.
Base.
Correct. Where the Brandenburg Gate is located. Located in Berlin. Mother of Queen Elizabeth I of England is Anne Boleyn. In cricket, the equivalent of a pitcher in baseball. What do they call that man? He's known as the bowler. Founder of the Salvation Army. Name one.
Terrebonne,
William
Thibodeau.
Booth.
Correct.
Sorry.
Variant of this game is chemin de fer. Chemin de fer. It's baccarat. Famous actress Tallulah.
Easton, Albright.
Bankhead.
Correct. They used to be known as velocipedes. We call them what? Bicycles. Pseudonym of American humorist Henry Wheeler Shaw. Josh what? Billings. Ambassador to Russia and the 15th U.S. president.
Terrebonne, Pico.
Buchanan.
Correct. The first man to fly over both poles.
Terrebonne, Thibodeau.
Admiral Byrd.
Correct. The site of the charge of the Light Brigade was Balaclava. Country known as the cockpit of Europe.
Easton, Albright.
Belgium.
Right. Boxing division named after a small fowl.
Easton, Albright.
Bantamweight.
Right. The notorious captain of the HMS Bounty.
Easton, Albright.
Bly. It is called America's only national instrument.
Terrebonne, Thibodeau.
Banjo.
That's right. Founder of the Boy Scout movement. His name?
Terrebonne, Thibodeau.
Baden-Powell.
Correct. South African pioneer of heart transplants.
Easton, Albright.
Bernard.
Right. French saint associated with the shrine at Lourdes.
Easton, Albright.
Bernadette.
Right. Name of the heroic horse in George Orwell's Animal Farm. Worked to death he was.
Easton Jones.
Boxer.
That's right. Charles Dickens' character, he owned a raven called Grip. Name was Barnaby Rudge. Favorite horse of Alexander the Great. On the buzzer. That automatically ends the round, I'm afraid. And the first half is now officially over. We're going to pause here, take a breather, then we'll be back to meet the contestants and talk about their future plans and aspirations right after this. So stay tuned, won't you?
Hi, I'm Bob Vila for This Old House. We're really starting to make some progress, so our wood heating specialist will update us on our fireplace and wood stove possibilities. We'll check out our fancy new bathtub in the midst of the rubble, plan a complex system of insulation, and figure out where our phones will eventually go. It's a smashing time this week on This Old House.
See it tonight at 6:30 on Channel 12.
We'll continue playing a second half in just a moment. Right now, let's meet the contestants and talk about their future plans academically, and we'll start with Connie Conklin over here. Connie, what do you plan to do?
I plan to go to MIT and major in nuclear physics.
Oh, big aspirations. Great school. Dennis, how about you?
Well, my biggest aspiration is one day to be king of the Bacchus Parade, but if I can't get that, I'll settle for president of the United States.
You mean president is second, huh?
Right.
How about
seriously.
WJIN? That's got a pretty good listener.
KJIN.
KJIN. I changed the
West
caller.
of the Mississippi. I plan to go to LSU and hopefully major in physics.
Oh, that's fine. Charles?
And I plan to go to LSU and major in architecture or engineering.
Another Baton Rouge-bound guy, huh? How about you, Jay?
I hope to attend the United States Naval Academy at Annapolis, Maryland, and study biological science.
Oh, that's great. Good luck to all of you. It's really been nice having you on the show, and we wish you all the best. You got more signs back here. I can't get into that. We don't have time, but little signs are going to hold up when they get a chance. Warren Easton Fundamental High School. I was at your graduation last year. I really enjoyed it. The enthusiasm and response to the new fundamental school has been marvelous. James, what do you plan to do?
I plan to go to the University of New Orleans and major in drama.
Very good. John?
I don't know where I'm going yet, but it'll probably be somewhere around here and be something to do with communications.
Right. Is that your general area of interest? Communications field?
Preferably radio.
Good. Looks like we may have two radio men here, but we don't watch out. How about you, Charlie?
Okay, I've applied to Newcomb College, and I was offered a scholarship to St. Mary's Dominican, and I plan to major in earth or biological science.
Excellent. Robert?
I plan on attending LSU and playing football. I plan on majoring in education.
That's right. You're the end, aren't you? Were you defensive end?
Tackle.
Defensive tackle. Yeah, you're big enough to be a tackle. Okay. That's right, Bob Dawson. I got him out of position, but he's a good one. And we are about ready to move into the second half now, with the score standing Terrebonne 135 and Warren Easton 80. That's not an unsurmountable margin, you know, if you've seen this game before. We're going to begin with a visual face-off, teams, leading up to a lanyap of 30 points. I want you to look at the monitors in front of you, and you will see and there it is, a photograph of a famous baseball player. Now, if you watch the Channel 12 special, Only the Ball Was White, you'll find
Terrebonne, Thibodeau.
Jackie Robinson?
No, I'm afraid that's incorrect. Warren Easton will repeat. Now, if you watch the Channel 12 special, Only the Ball Was White, you'll find it easy to earn 10 points and tell me the name of this.
Easton, all right.
Satchel Paige?
That's right, legendary Satchel Paige. You have a lanyap of 30 points coming up, Easton. For 10 points each, identify the following relatives which appear in Shakespeare's work. First, Laertes' sister.
Ophelia.
Correct. For 10 more, Kate the Shrew's spouse.
Petruchia.
Correct again. Finally, for a total of 30 if you answer, Juliet's cousin who was slain by Romeo.
Tybalt.
You've got all three. That's 30 points, Warren Easton. And look at that. Just like that, the gap is narrowed. Terrebonne leaving 130 to 120 over Easton. Here's a face-off that could tie it if you were to get it, Easton, or put you further ahead, Terrebonne, if you get it. A lanyap of 30 coming up. Daddy Longlegs was the name of a book and a movie, but the one I'm referring to is not human. For 10
Easton
points.
Jones.
It's a spider.
It is a spider, and you've got 10 points to tie. It's tied at 130. All right. This lanyap is for 30 points, possible. It's a mystery type clue question. If you can guess the identity of the person after one clue, it's 30. If it takes two, it's 20. If it takes three, it's 10. The first clue is this, for 30 points. She is one of history's most fascinating women. She was born illegitimately in the grim country village of Junin, J-U-N-I-N, in 1919. Can you guess who?
Evita Peron.
You're right, Evita Peron. You blitzed that one. We didn't even get to the real clues. Got another face-off. We're going for a lanyap at 20 now, teams. Easton now leading by 30. Soon making music will be as easy as making toast in a sense. A new 4-inch disc, not much larger than an English muffin, will slide into a player about the size of a toaster. The sound quality will far exceed that of the best current LP.
Easton, all right.
Laser vision.
No, I'm afraid not. Terrebonne will repeat. Soon making music will be as easy as making toast. A new 4-inch disc, not much larger than an English muffin, will slide into a player about the size of a toaster. The sound quality will far exceed that of the best current LPs. For 10 points, what kind of disc is this miniature phonograph record?
Terrebonne, Thibodeau.
Digital recording?
That's right, it is. A digital for 10 points. Well, this game is ricocheting. You're trailing now by 15. Could go ahead if you can get all 20 points in this lanyap. All right, first point. In the original version, when Peter Pan first visited the Darling children, they were under the supervision of their nurse, a dog whom they called Nana. For 10 points, what breed of dog was the original Nana? According to the book. And I assume the play.
Fox Terrier?
No, it was a Newfoundland. Now, for an additional 10, what breed was she in the Walt Disney version?
Sheepdog.
No, she was a St. Bernard in the Disney version. We'll go on to another face-off, leading up now to a lanyap of 30. Although she was a character in mythology, Her name has become part of the English language. She prophesied misfortune, but was fated never to be.
Cassandra.
Cassandra is correct for 10 points. She was fated never to be believed. Hence, false prophets are generally called Cassandras today. Here's a 30-point lagniappe. Geographers divide water in or on the land into 3 basic types for 10 points apiece. Name them. Basic divisions of water, according to geographers.
Lakes, rivers, and streams.
No, that's a logical deduction. Actually, the geographers categorize them as surface water, that's rivers and streams, soil water in the soil near the surface, and groundwater, which is stored deep underground. All right, we go on to another face-off. We're moving toward a lagniappe of 20 points. This system, established in 1860, was for carrying mail from St. Joseph, Missouri to Sacramento.
Easton, all right.
The Pony Express.
It was the Pony Express. All right, you picked up 10. Here's a lagniappe of 20. A dramatization of The Mill on the Floss is currently being shown on WYES. The author of the novel also wrote Silas Marner and Adam Bede. For 10 points, tell me the name under which her novels were published. And for another 10, tell me her real name. Real name and pen name. All right, the pen name was George Eliot. Her real name actually was Mary Ann Evans. But in those days, you couldn't get published if you had a woman's name. Here's another face-off, going for a lagniappe of 20 points. For 10 points, tell me the name of the American soldier, now listen carefully, the American soldier who was given command of all United Nations troops in Korea from May 1952 until the armistice in July 1953. Anyone want to take a shot at that one? He closed out Korea as its commander.
Eisenhower?
No, no. Warren Easton, can you take it? It was General Mark Clark. General Mark Clark. He followed MacArthur. Here's another face-off. We're going for a lagniappe at 20. With what two-word phrase might the residents of Grover's Corners, New Hampshire, describe their little community?
Terrebonne, Thibodeau.
Our Town?
You're right. Our Town for 10 points. The famous play by Thornton Wilder. All right, you've narrowed it to 25. This can narrow it even further if you get all 20 points. It's in 4 parts. For 5 points apiece, supply the metric equivalent of the following quantities. Metric equivalent. 1 pound becomes
2.2 kilograms.
Becomes 454 grams. 39.37 inches.
1 meter?
Correct for 5. 1 inch translates.
2.54 centimeters.
Correct again. 0.386 square miles. Square miles. Translates as?
Square meter?
No, square kilometer. However, we picked up 2 of them. That's 10 points for Terrebonne High School. We're going to check on the 1 as far as the grams translation. You may have picked up another 5. However, we have to keep the game going. Here's a face-off moving for a lagniappe of 20 for a quick 10. Name the animal phylum that contains the largest number of members.
Terrebonne, Piku.
Mammals.
No, I'm afraid that's incorrect. Warren Easton, can you take
Easton,
it?
all right.
Mammalia?
No, it's arthropoda. Arthropoda are arthropods. They contain insects, among others. Another face-off. He was the first astronaut to fly in 3 different types of spacecraft, Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo. For 10 points, can you name him?
Easton, all right.
John Glenn?
No. Terrebonne, can you take it?
Terrebonne, Thibodeau.
Grissom?
No, it was Walter Schirra. Another face-off for a quick 10. What is the saltiest body of water in the world?
Easton, all right.
The Dead Sea.
That's correct for 10 points. It is the Dead Sea. You got 10, you can pick up 20 more on this one. There are 2 great river systems in the Mideast. For 10 points apiece, name them.
The Nile. No.
All right.
The Tigris Euphrates.
That's one of them. And the other?
Nile.
That's right, both. 20 points. We have a face-off. We're going for a lagniappe now of 30. For a quick 10, tell me, what is the oldest settlement in Louisiana that's still occupied?
Terrebonne, Thibodeau.
Natchitoches?
You're right for 10 points. Natchitoches it is. All right, you've added 10. Here's a chance at 30 more. In this well-known satire by 20th century novelist and essayist, probably the most often quoted statement is, all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. For 10 points apiece, tell me the title of this brilliant satire and the name under which the author wrote.
Animal Farm?
That's correct.
And George Orwell?
Correct. And now for a final 10, tell me the real name of George Orwell. His real name. Orwell was a pen name. His real name was Eric Blair. You picked up 20 points, however. Terrebonne High School. Here's another face-off. We're going for a lagniappe now of 20 points. In the first trick he ever did, he borrowed a coin from his father, made it disappear, made it reappear in a box.
Harry Houdini.
No, I'm afraid that's incorrect. We'll repeat for Terrebonne. In the first trick he ever did, he borrowed a coin from his father, made it disappear, made it reappear in a box. For 10 points, name this well-known magician, sleight of hand artist, master of illusion, who's appeared many times on television and is presently doing...
David Copperfield?
No, I'm afraid not. Doug Henning, the other great magician. Another face-off. To improve the color fastness of some fabrics, dyers add certain substances to the dye baths. For 10 points, what are these substances called? Anyone know? Technical term, mordants. Another face-off. The saguaro is a marvelous plant found only in the Sonora Desert of northwestern Mexico, southwestern Arizona, and the fringes of southeastern California. In all the world, only there it will grow. And it's one of the thousands of plants all over the world that are vulnerable to extinction.
Cactus?
A cactus it is for 10 points. Correct. You have a lagniappe coming up of 20 points. For 5 points apiece, complete the following pairs. 1, the lady in red, and who was her famous companion? It was John Dillinger. Clytemnestra, and there is the buzzer. And if my eyes do not deceive me, the game is tied, 200 all. All right, we're going to be right back. After we pause here, validate that final score to make absolutely certain it is a tie game. It appears to be 200 all, and then we'll return to sudden death. That's the only way you can wind up this game. We'll be back in a moment.
He was the greatest dancer of his age, Nijinsky, and now in a spectacular program of Dance in America, today's great leaps into the roles that made Nijinsky legend. Rudolf Nureyev and the Joffrey Ballet, Petrushka, Spectre of the Rose, Afternoon of a Faun, dancing in tribute to Nijinsky. Great performances.
See you tomorrow evening at 8 here on Channel 12.
Well, as we said, it's been validated. We have a tie score, but will not be the final score, however. 200 to 200 between Easton and Terrebonne. According to the rules, we have a sudden death playoff. During sudden death, I ask one or more face-off questions until one is answered correctly. If, however, one team interrupts and answers incorrectly, there's an automatic -5 penalty, and therefore the team that did not answer wins. Okay, with that in mind, let's begin. Here is our sudden death. The first face-off for a quick 10 points. Who was the first president of the Republic of Turkey? The Republic of Turkey was Kemal Ataturk. Next face-off for 10 points. With what literary technique do you associate writers Arthur Schnitzler, William Faulkner, Virginia Woolf, and James Joyce? With what literary technique?
Easton Albright.
Novels?
No. We go to Terrebonne High School. Terrebonne, you must answer. They did not interrupt, I believe.
Terrebonne Thibodeau.
Realism?
No, it's stream of consciousness. Another face-off. In the early 1900s, the Chicago Cubs baseball team had a double play combination that was outstanding.
Easton Albright.
Tinkers to Evans to Chance.
Oh, I'm sorry. That is an incorrect answer. It is Tinker to Evers to Chance, not Tinkers to Evans to Chance. As a result, we have to impose the -5 point rule for having interrupted incorrectly. Terrebonne wins the game 200 to 195. Terrebonne, congratulations. What an inning. Oh, my goodness. An incredible contest from start to finish. Terrebonne is our winner. They automatically now advance to the next round, the round of 3, our quarterfinals, to play St. Martin's Protestant Episcopal School. We hope to see you then, and of course, again next Saturday on Varsity Quiz Bowl. Bye, everyone.
The questions on Varsity Quiz Bowl are prepared and authenticated by the WIS editorial research staff and known only in advance to the quizmaster, producer, judge, and researcher. All 64 schools participating in our year-long tournament are matched by blind draw. Selections of team members and methods of preparation are the sole responsibility of the schools and their coaches. The preceding program was made possible by a grant from Pan American Life Insurance Company.